When we're faced with a new problem, most of us jump to the same conclusion: buy more stuff. There's always more gear and better gear, and we're so easily convinced that having the right gear is the solution to all of our problems. Personally, I love tools. No matter what home improvement project you face, there is always a tool for just that problem. And having the right tool makes all the difference. But the truth is, there are things in life which there just aren't any tools to fix. There are things we can't buy or accumulate our way out of. Israel's King Solomon was an accumulator, convinced that more was just about always the solution to a problem. Solomon was David's son, and he desperately held on to the promise that he would accomplish even more than his father had. Solomon had inherited a great deal from his father, but his own accumulations would mark the high point in Israel's history. Solomon built palaces and the first temple. He accumulated wealth like no other king in Israel's history, and built armies and amassed harems and achieved a reputation throughout the ancient Near East. Kings and queens flooded into Israel to marvel at what Solomon had accomplished. But like we all eventually feel, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to answer his most pressing questions or to grasp a deeper meaning or purpose. Solomon appeared to have everything neatly and perfectly put together. But inside, he wrestled with the same insecurities and desperation we all feel. He was as restless as any of the common peasants that he ruled over, and more stuff never seemed to produce actual answers. The word Solomon is often remembered for is vanity. All is vanity. His words are recorded in the book of Ecclesiastes. So I became greater than all who had lived in Jerusalem before me, and my wisdom never failed me. Anything I wanted, I would take, and denied myself no pleasure. I even found great pleasure in hard work, a reward for all my labors. But as I looked at everything I had worked so hard to accomplish, it was all so meaningless, like chasing the wind. There was nothing really worthwhile anywhere. You know what Solomon is describing: chasing the wind. But Solomon did eventually realize that what he needed was not more stuff, but wisdom. Wisdom from God. The Bible presents wisdom as knowing how to live well within this world, not merely accumulating, but knowing how to steward what you already have. Wisdom is a practical sense of purpose and meaning, which helps us live at peace in God's creation, knowing what to do with houses and jobs, friends and neighbors, love and injustice, classes and hobbies. What Solomon was missing was this wisdom. What does God want me to do with what he has given me? But God's wisdom isn't like your typical self-help book. His wisdom can't be condensed down into 3 simple steps. God's wisdom is often overlooked, rejected, ignored, even despised by the world. As Solomon explained in a short story, here is another bit of wisdom that has impressed me as I have watched the way our world works. There was a small town with only a few people, and a great king came with an army and besieged it. A poor, wise man knew how to save the town, and so it was rescued. But afterward, no one thought to thank him. Solomon realized that being king and possessing every possible resource wasn't enough to make him wise. It was God who had created this world. If it was God who had created this world, who would know better how to live in it? So Solomon asked God for wisdom. Now, O Lord, my God, you have made me king instead of my father David, but I am like a little child who doesn't know his way around. And here I am in the midst of your own chosen people, a nation so great and numerous they cannot be counted. Give me an understanding heart, so that I can govern your people well and know the difference between right and wrong. For who by himself is able to govern this great people of yours? The Lord was pleased that Solomon had asked for wisdom. So God replied, Because you have asked for wisdom in governing my people with justice, and have not asked for a long life or wealth or the death of your enemies, I will give you what you ask for. I will give you a wise and understanding heart, such as no one else has had or ever will have. Solomon got so much wrong in his life, but nothing could have been more right than this realization and request. His greatest achievement was not his palaces or wealth. His greatest achievement was the humility to recognize his need. Can you see it? Do you feel it? You're chasing the wind. Your need for God's wisdom. God, what do you want us to do with this stuff you have put in our hands? How can we be wise in this world? Listen,